right, Andrew, talk to us about the BSOD.
Blue screens suck. Okay. If you've been in IT long enough, you've probably ran into them. Hopefully, not often. A lot of times you just reboot and you can kind of fix the issues. But sometimes you aren't able to do that. Sometimes you have a lot of a certain kind of model. Maybe there's a release that has a certain bug or some kind of thing, and you need to troubleshoot. That's what we're going to try and empower you with the knowledge of today, introduce you to a couple tools, and just kind of talk about it. But before we dive in, have you guys had any blue screen issues in your life?
Never. No. Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Yes, constantly.
I actually wish Brock was here because it wasn't that long ago that he was getting a bunch of blue screens on his home machine.
Really? What
Yeah.
were they?
Yeah.
Drivers, video
Nope.
cards.
No.
What?
Nope.
What?
Nope. Keep guessing. No. It was actually failing memory. One of his
Oh.
VIMs was failing.
You got some issues. We need to look into it. If it happens twice, to me, that's when I actually have to start looking into things. Or if it's somebody important's computer, you got to put in the legwork to make sure you're doing things properly. Where do we look? The first place I like to look is the event viewer. There's a few you want to take note of: 1001, 41, 6008. And if we just quickly run those, we will see that we actually forced a bug check yesterday. Or sorry, we forced a blue screen yesterday. Would you look at that? What are we running here? We're getting a bunch of reboots, like whenever the computer shuts down without cause. And then we're also you get a bunch of information about sort of what happened, when it was shut down, why it was shut down. And we're just grabbing the last five because you don't actually need a ton. And you can browse Windows Event Viewer just the same. I kind of like saving things as PowerShell commands because I can just, if I ever have an issue with this, just open up this and just kind of run the commands here and there. Uh, this is probably the most helpful one where you're going to start looking at the Windows error recording crash reports, which gives you a little bit more information, hopefully.
Oh, I didn't know of this. What is WinInit?
Oh, it's like this thing that initializes Windows. It starts services and stuff like that. So it's like super core and critical. If there's any issues with it, Windows will blue screen.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Okay,
neat.
so I got nothing. Interesting. I don't know. It worked earlier.
So he forced the blue screen, which is what we were laughing about during the pre-show, and so that it was actually pretty cool. So he forced that critical error to
Okay,
happen.
so that's
Yes.
also looking for in the Windows event log and where the reporting or the faulting module is winit.exe.
Yep, and so it pulled that event saying this is what
Got it.
caused that the criticality.
Got it. Okay.
It knew the exact executable.
And so
ran.
like that winit is going to be if like it's a operating system component that's faulting. You're going to get stuff there. Do you get stuff there if it's like a driver fault or hardware fault?
I'm honestly not sure. I didn't know about WinInit until recently whenever I used it to crash Windows.
Oh.
So I'm not too sure about the edge cases on those.
Well, that's really cool.
But the good thing is there's a dump file that is created, .dmp. Call it a dump file. And there's great tools that you can use. There's obviously this stuff, which is the equivalent of like, hey, have you tried rebooting it? You know what I mean? Anytime you get an issue, just run them. Say you did it. So whenever anybody asks, you said yes, and here's the output.
It's like have you seen a Microsoft forum like ask in the last 30 years? That's like the
Right.
first recommended thing. SFCCI.
And that's the
now.
only response.
Yeah.
And then you respond and it's later. Before we dive too deep into WinDbg, because it looks confusing, it's kind of like one of those more advanced tools where
Yeah.
there's going to be a lot of noise and what you're looking for is kind of slim. There's this perfmon thing, which I think is a better view than looking at event logs. If you like this, just look at performance monitor. You can see when there's Windows failures, get some information about it, and sort of narrow down what's going on in a machine. This view is also nice if you're like remoted and helping somebody who's having issues on their computer. They get to see it, they get to talk about it. You kind of validate what they're going through, and they kind of trust you more. I don't know. It's a little detail, but if you're in the customer service kind of role like that, it definitely helps to do that kind of thing.
And it kind of helps to like correlate like if it's a user initiated thing, they can maybe help tell you what they were doing. Right? So that visual representation.
And I think that's a theme for some troubleshooting. It's like you can do a lot programmatically, but there's a lot of time that can be saved if you just talk to the person and you ask them like, what software are you running every day? Have you changed your workflow recently? Have there been any updates? Same thing goes for the 80 lockout stuff we're going to talk about. If someone's getting locked out all the time, understand their workflow and what programs they're using. You can look all day, but you can save a ton of time just talking.
Yep.
Let's get into that nerdy stuff though. Okay.
I like the nerdy stuff.
Me too. WinDbg, what the heck?
I didn't touch anything.
It's supposed to happen like this. I don't know why there was another WinDbg open. Let us start it from scratch so I can show you what it would look like. You can install this. You can search it. We have it open. Just WinDbg. It's from Microsoft. You can get it through a bunch of different mechanisms. I just downloaded it and ran it locally. Okay. You get this thing and dude, little not that helpful, we'll say. Not the best customer
A
experience.
lot not that helpful.
But a debuggy? I love that. What's a debuggy? I want to ride on one. Hopefully there's like 3 horses. I'd be all over that. But what are we trying to
this
do?
is giving some serious Windows Vista vibes.
I know it does, right? It
It
looks
does.
old.
Look at that. Maybe Windows 8.
Open
Okay.
dump file.
Yeah.
All right, it's a .dmp, and this is where they're going to go. There's also a mini dump file that may be applicable to you in certain instances, but I've pretty much only gone to memory.dmp. Oh no!
Of course,
Ooh,
of course.
access to the
Okay.
path is
For
denied.
anyone that's ever worked with a manufacturer, right, and you're working on a warranty case, and they're like, "Yeah, I need a memory file," you're like, just come fix the machine. Well, this is what they're reading, right? This is some sort of process similar to what he's doing right now. It's exactly
Yeah.
what they're doing.
Yeah.
To try to fix your machine.
Yeah.
Is they're reading the stemp file.
They are.
Some
And
similar
I think
thing.
a good call out here is like what just happened is like the location of this memory dump is C Windows is a protected file.
Yeah,
So yes,
exactly.
launch as administrator.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yep. So we launched it as admin, and we call it a dump file and a memory dump file because it's literally everything in memory dumped. Is my impression of it. So you can kind of go back in time and see what the heck happened. That's why it looks like all programmy and crazy, like this kind of stuff. So we open it up. We see nothing super helpful yet, but we see this recommendation: analyze-v. All right. We call this a bang.
Bang. Bada bang.
I always call my boss would say that. I was like, dude, you're like, what are you saying? You call this bang dash v. Let's see. It adds a whole ton of stuff. Boom, boom, boom.
Nice. Okay.
And now in this day and age, honestly, I'd copy and paste this whole thing and send it to AI.
Oh, absolutely.
Probably. I mean, I think there's some string that they typically use. It's like possibly or could be to kind of give you some ideas of what could be causing it. Let's see. Yeah, here's the error code. You can look this up online. Great thing to do. You can see what caused it, when in it. This is the
Yep.
critical process. So from there, you can start digging in more and figuring out what the heck's going on.
Yeah.
But that is sort of the basics.
Yeah. Oftentimes that won't be like an executable. That might be like a DLL.
Yeah.
Right. And then you have to go back and you have to chase down, okay, what driver is this
Mm-hmm.
that is that faulting DLL? Because it would kill a hardware manufacturer to name a driver in a way that's human readable.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's at this point, I think they do it just because they're funny.
They do it just to annoy you.
Yeah. Like, have you ever looked at the actual name of a printer DLL? It's like a cat walked across the keyboard .dll.
Cat walked across the keyboard.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Well, that is like super helpful if you're stuck in like a blue screen of death situation.
Yeah, that one it pulled the exact thing that happened to blue screen this machine. So this one was a great example.
Yeah.
It might not always be this straightforward, but in this case, it was perfect.
Thanks for watching this segment from PDQ Live. If you like this, you'll love the full show. Check it out every Thursday at 10 a.m. Mountain. Oh, and like and subscribe, please.